Spookies!
It's been a while since we said spook.
It's true. It's been a while.
Probably for the best that way, but hey.
Yeah, there you go. There
Yeah.
it was. They're all stunned now. They're shocked that I was that powerful.
You spooked them.
It's true.
See, there's the joke.
We worked it in there somehow. I was like, one of us was going to figure out it some kind of actual joke to make, but then it wasn't going to be me. No, I'll admit, my brain was racing for a spooky joke. It was going to get there eventually.
Yeah, you don't have to search for them. They just come naturally. At least at this point.
It's almost spooky how naturally they come.
God.
Alright, I don't know. Favorite Disney movies? Good question. Always difficult. It's one that I always ask people, like after I've been friends with them for a little while. It's like kind of like a standard question that I ask, but I don't really have that much of an answer for it, honestly. Left out Treasure Planet. That one's also pretty good.
Treasure Planet's great.
I know I know a bunch of modern ones, but these are also ones that I saw relatively recently, so they're just kind of top of mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh well, let's just move on to another question.
Alrighty.
Why are you guys so awesome?
I think it's in the genes, man.
It says just about the quickness. We both played Sonic Adventure, and we developed the quickness. So we knew how to handle situations.
We both beat Sonic 06.
We're ready.
Both run through the gauntlet and survived.
Oh, I haven't actually beaten it. I've played a lot of it, but I haven't beaten it. I have not finished it. I've beaten I almost said Soarers. I've beaten Sonics and Shadow Stories. Never beat Silvers.
But what? Silvers was the best part.
It wasn't even because it was like I can't play this anymore. It was just like this is like, I mean, it's beyond the point of being humorous. I'm just torturing myself. But anyway, why are we so awesome? I don't know. Shadow X.
You answer the question.
First off, before we let's just have a look at the Shadow X here. But it's just a shadow. What's the problem?
What's the problem? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're noticing. You think you already know where this fight's going. I think you know where this is going to be after we kill these three.
There's going to be more for each one, and so forth.
There's going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
This fight's pretty cool. Anyway, let's see what's next. What games are you most excited for E3? E3 is going to already be out and done. Well, not finished by the time this episode releases, but
Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout, obviously.
Fallout. I'm sorry. Fallout. Maybe more Battlefront stuff. Maybe.
It's got to be. Like I said, I'm willing to bet that they're going to do the same thing they did for Hardline last year, and I'm pretty sure they did for Battlefield 4 the year before that, where they had like 64 computers there just running the game,
Man,
right? Like on
so.
2 maps, you know. I'm willing to bet because it's coming out this fall. Like they got to have a build of that nature by now.
Right.
And I can't claim to be super excited for it in the first place, but it'd be nice to see more of it. I want to see more of Uncharted 4. No, confirmed earlier today, no, Type 0, no, not Type 0, no, what?
15.
15, thank you, Joey, I appreciate it. That thing that I do. That thing that I do occasionally. Despite the fact that I don't like Toriyama very much, aka the director of Final Fantasy XIII and its various sequels, they will likely be unveiling his new project, and if nothing else, I'll be interested to see what it looks like, because hey, if nothing else, the trailers for 13 were really good, until they started talking, then I was like, oh, this game's gonna be bad. It was just a moment in one of those trailers.
The bad game.
I don't know, like, I was really excited for 13, and there was just a moment in the first English trailer, from an early cutscene in that game, early FMV cutscene, where they hijack a ship and are running away from the military. And they blow up one of the ships, and Vanille says, we got him, and Lightning says, we got one of them. And that line wasn't bad. Like, that scene itself wasn't bad, but for some reason, that was a moment where, like, my, like, you know, smile that really had, like, it was not even, like, a big smile, like, the slight, you know, the theoretical smile that was in my brain slowly faded, and something in my head said it's gonna be bad. Like, I don't know what that line was, but something about that line just tipped me off.
Your instincts.
And I was right.
You played enough of these games, you know.
It's true. Let's see. The big Square Enix hope for me, honestly, if they announce Final Fantasy 12 HD, that'd be nice. 12 is, I believe one of the later questions, and this is going to be favorite Final Fantasy game. 12 is probably up there. What else is going on at E3 this year? I can't even think. Something surprising that I would like. How about that? What I'd like for E3 would be to see something new that I wasn't expecting. How about that?
Yeah, I think I go for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just anything, like any good surprises, that is.
I want to see Super Mario Sunshine 2. It's being
God.
rumored, that'd be nice. I'd like it.
That'd be great. I'd be fine with just port it up, honestly. But I should aim high with my hopes, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll see. What else? Like, what else can Nintendo even do? They just did Splatoon. They won't be showing Zelda. They'll be showing new Star Fox because they still haven't like said if that's gonna. Like they didn't come out and say that.
I want there to be a new Metroid, a good Metroid.
New Metroid would be good too.
I want there to be a
absolutely.
new first-person Metroid.
There will be a new Metroid. I'm willing to bet. Like they're overdue for one, and they don't have Zelda to show this year.
Right.
Unless it's always possible that their E3 show will just be bad. Like or will be lacking in their long-standing IPs. But it seems like with no Zelda to show, Star Fox will be picking up some of that slack. But it seems like, and I mean, I'm talking as if like the decision-making process is, E3 is coming up, we don't have enough games, we need to make a new Metroid game. Like, that's not how the decision-making process works, obviously, but still in my head, it's like, I feel like it's time. It's been long enough.
Overdue at this point.
But then again, they're also probably doing a new 3D Mario game. They're handling Splatoon right now, DLC for that. They're working hard on new Zelda. They're working hard on new Star Fox. I don't know if they have room, unless they get Rare, no, not Rare, get what are they called? Retro. If they get Retro to do another Metroid game, then yeah, it'll work. Otherwise, it's like I don't think I have room.
I mean, I'll be satisfied with any Metroid new title. Honestly, though, like I don't know, people may think it's overused, but if they do another Metroid Prime, I'm probably going to pee myself.
Joey, please.
No, I love those games. Sorry, I do.
I still need to play them. The trilogy is on the Wii U now. I'll play them when I have time. But after I watch Breaking Bad and finish Infamous 2. Or no, I finish Breaking Bad and play Infamous 2, because I've never owned Infamous 2 at any point, even though I love Infamous 1. I've had this discussion, I believe, on the channel at some point before. Oh well.
Yeah.
Make some bold E3 predictions. We already know about Fallout 4 now, so I mean, like... I predict Half-Life 3.
New Souls game. That's being rumored.
We already had this discussion earlier, like, through text, but it's like... That's
like I think it's
no
dumb.
way because they've already talked about doing DLC plans, announcing another game in the franchise before you've even launched. Like, because DLC is fundamentally designed as a thing for people who have enjoyed the game and want more of it.
Exactly.
And when you announce you're going to be releasing another game in the franchise, then you get. I mean, this isn't like it wouldn't be a huge detriment to your DLC sales, but it would be a bit, I would imagine, because there would be a few people who would say, "Oh, I got this new game to look forward to. I'll wait here."
Yeah.
And not get DLC. Plus, you're dividing any and all marketing and development resources.
Exactly.
Which is, you don't want to do that. Especially if you're working on a big title like...
People are thinking it, though. People are saying,
Won't happen.
Dark Souls 3.
Prey 2?
Prey 2?
Prey 2.
Prey 2.
It'll happen. I'm calling it. Prey 2, this is my bold E3 prediction.
They're going to use necromancy to resurrect it.
Horror of the Orient will show up again. Horror of the Orient is the game that the development team behind LA Noire was going to do when they were outed as being terrible developers and awful people, and then they just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. Horror of the Orient will come back, purchased by Nintendo, with the new name, The Tour Guide of the Orient, and it has become a tourism game for China. No, for the Tibet. Sorry, it's set in Tibet. I like things set in Tibet. That's primarily why I want it. I like LA Noire, and it'd be better if it was set in Tibet.
Sonic Adventure 3 is going to be announced.
Yes, absolutely. That's going to happen. Man, you know what? As much as, like, I'm just backing up for a second. As much as, like, there were a bunch of horror stories came out about, like, Team Bondi just being, like, awful, I really want another game from them so bad. Because I love LA Noire. All of its problems. It's a great game.
Oh, yeah, no, it is.
You've played it, right? You and Price both played it. I remember discussing...
I haven't beaten it. I've played... Okay. I like it. I've never owned it. I've played some of it, and I've watched somebody play some of it.
I remember sneakily discussing the Homicide Desk with Price in physics a couple times when he was going through that.
Right.
Because he was playing through it at the time, and I'd beaten it, like, years ago when it came out. Here we go, Cloud and Leon. We have no items left because I didn't re-equip any... I forgot to re-equip anything before I went back in to fight Behemoth that time, and I exhausted all of them in that Behemoth fight, so... This should be a problem. Also, I no longer have R's equipped. I have... Oh, no!
Uh-oh.
I no longer have R's equipped. I have... Zezuzoken equipped, or whatever. It's not Zezuzoken, the Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And it's not useful on this fight at all. I thought maybe it'd be useful on, whatchamacallit, Cerberus, because in the air and 3 heads. I never had enough MP to use it. And we didn't leave after beating Behemoth, we just kept going. So, oh well. We're gonna lose this fight. We're gonna lose this fight.
It's all good.
Yeah,
we
there
did
we go.
good.
We tried our best.
Mass Effect Trilogy released on new consoles. Next-gen consoles.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. That could totally happen.
I'd buy it. I would.
Let me go ahead and switch out items really fast. Nathan Drake Collection will be it will be nothing more than a copy of Uncharted 4 with vouchers for the digital versions of the game on PlayStation 4. Just download the PlayStation 3 version to your PlayStation 4. That's all it'll be. It won't be an HD update of any kind. It's just gonna be just gonna be you get digital vouchers for the old ones. That's all it's gonna be.
Call of Duty pack. Call of Duty 4, 5, and 6 pack. Redone graphics. New generation.
4, 5, and 6?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Maybe that's not going to happen at all. Like, there's not a possible way it could happen.
No, absolutely not.
But hey.
You're silly, Joey.
It says bold. Bold.
It says bold, it's true. It wants us to be bold. I'm going to give these guys just a couple items, even though it's against my better judgment.
Will they even have them by the time we get to the fight?
Probably not, but I won't have to waste items on the way there.
True.
Goof. You can take a potion.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
And a potion. The quest for items.
No, I'm saying for predictions.
Nah, probably not. If they show, I doubt it. That game is so far out. If they show anything, it'll be like a basic level teaser. Why didn't I change my abilities at all? I gotta do that really fast. They might show a teaser for it. Possibly, maybe, unlikely. Why am I in items if I'm changing my abilities? Okay. What we got here? Where's the thing? You, off. Remove. Yep. Okay. What? I thought I had Combat Master equipped. Whatever. Equip it now. It should have been equipped. It wasn't. It's a problem.
Last Guardian.
Yes, Last Guardian. There was a message, like, Kotaku did their E3 predictions, and I think it was Kotaku, maybe it was someone else. Somewhere I saw something to the effect of, and at the Sony conference they will confirm that The Last Guardian is, in fact, still in development, and we should wait for more information. Let's see. I think we're good with this, honestly. I mean, I could equip, like, some, big damage-boosting things, but this is probably fine. I can remove stun. I'll remove... if I remove stun impact, I can get MP haste. I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright, that's a good setup. Let's go in. Put me in! Put me in the ring! Get me in there! Yeah, there we go. Okay. What else? E3 related. The Tomb Raider announcement will come in the form of an interactive treasure hunt on the show floor, at the end of which you will find a PS4.
Oh.
And the announcement will be will be that it's gone multi-platform. No, that's not gonna happen.
No, of course not. I'm just saying these things would be pretty cool.
Let's see, like realistic E3 predictions. I don't know. No, if we see Kingdom Hearts, they might show the same thing they showed at the launch party for 2.5 back in like December. It was like the rough gameplay and sketch.
Right.
They might show something like that. They might show a brief cinematic teaser trailer. Don't expect gameplay. If it's gameplay, don't believe that it's gameplay. It's not real gameplay. It might be in-engine, but it's not what the game is going to be like at all.
No, of course not.
If they show gameplay, it's going to be nothing like the game that you buy in 2075. Okay. What's next? Can you do Fallout 3 4 New Vegas playthrough? Joey, question. How long would you say a run through the story in New Vegas or 3 would be?
Do you mean just the story?
Let's say just the story, assuming best case scenario where we never get distracted, which would not happen. But let's assume best case scenario where we never get distracted and go straight through the story.
I don't know. Like, honestly, probably like a 10, 12 hours maybe for a first timer.
With your assistance?
But if you just want me to be like, hey, go do this, we could get it done in probably like 5, 6 hours maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I might be. I've never sped run it. Like, I might just be like, maybe it's a lot longer than I think. But like when you play like one of those kinds of Bethesda games, like you don't go like just from the beginning doing the story the whole time. Like you get distracted by thousands of side quests.
Precisely, which is why I feel like for where I'm, like, especially since Let's Plays aren't my full-time thing. I mean, I know, I am doing them practically full-time at this point, but they're not what's getting, like, viewership and, let's be cynical here, money. I feel like a Bethesda anything playthrough is so built around, I could go do that, or I could turn left.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just...
But it's like, I could go do that, and it's going to give me, like, a unique weapon.
Yeah, it's probably not. Commenter, I apologize if you were thinking about that for whatever reason.
But hey,
it's just
Fallout 4 is in the future.
In
so
the future,
you never
yeah.
know.
Yeah, maybe the campaign will be really short and there will be no distractions.
Oh man, if it is, that'd be the biggest disappointment ever. I mean, like, the games aren't necessarily difficult. Like, if you wanted to go fast, you could just put it on easy and just run through the whole game with the 9mm pistol, but I don't know.
That's not, then there's no point doing the Let's Play. You know?
Exactly.
It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Because the Let's Play would be you doing like, oh, what's over here? Oh, what is that big thing? Death Claw?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to say probably not to that. Also because I made the mistake when we started doing these, thinking my primary viewership is here for Final Fantasy. I'm going to do Final Fantasy, Square Enix, JRPG stuff. The issue therein is that since my viewership does not already exist for Let's Plays, we're playing several really long-form games. And especially Final Fantasy VII has lost a lot of viewership as it's gone on. I hope that that picks up again because it gets good soon. It gets juicy! It gets juicy! By the time this is out, it probably has gotten juicy.
Probably.
Get over there, Sora. Alright. The thing about Combo Master is basically, like, he will continue to do a combo even if there's not an enemy around. Ooh. That's what that ability does. Which means sometimes, though, I'm not doing the sliding dash thing, and a couple times I'm hitting the air instead of following them. But,
right.
You know, whatever. I think it's still worth it, because then if you miss a single hit, you can still follow up. You know, I have an idea. Let's use Thundergaja, which is a little bit better than the previous version. Slightly. Oh, no.
Oof.
But yeah. So, one thing I've learned is that while Kingdom Hearts is still doing reasonably well, I wish it was doing better, but it's doing reasonably well. Type 0 is doing, also kind of falling off, not doing super well for itself. It started out really strong and then fell apart, in terms of viewership at least. I think that, other than doing Kingdom Hearts, because, again, if Calm is successful after this, because we are going to do Rechain of Memories after this, if that's successful as well, and hopefully more successful than this is, would be nice. Though if it matches the success of this playthrough, I think we'll continue with the rest of the Kingdom Hearts series. And if we continue to match success of this one, then that'll kind of be the standard that we're going by. Hopefully it'll grow. That would be preferable. Seriously, like, tell your friends. I don't want to do like the like, favorite, subscribe gimmick because it's stupid, and I don't like. I mean, it does affect your metrics and like what makes you more viewable to searching, but I don't give a crap. Tell your friends. If you have friends who are like, I want to get into Kingdom Hearts, or you have friends who've been trying to get into Kingdom Hearts, and you think they could sit through me and Joey's bullshit, then
there's a lot of it.
Yeah, point them this way. We would gladly have them.
They have to sift through it, but hey, there's some stuff there.
And I feel like, I mean, at this point, nobody's seen the whole Hollow Bastion thing, and I really want to see how people respond to that, because I don't see people talking about that character development a lot, and I'm hoping that people will be like, oh, Jacob-san, you've opened my eyes to the truths of Kingdom Hearts. Not really, but like I hope that like that will be something that perhaps gets people to share it a bit more.
Maybe.
I'm gonna do a video covering that aspect of the character eventually, but hopefully like that'll get something that people are talking about and showing it to other. Again, seriously, like I don't want to be like, yes, and share this, and if we get to 500 shares, then we'll do, you know, special whatever. I don't want to do that because that's
special giveaway.
Dumb.
Sign a napkin and send it to you.
Dumb. But at the end of the day, this does take time. They need to be successful. Like, favorite, subscribe, bleh, if you want to. You know, more about watch it. Keep watching it. If you're enjoying it, tell us what you enjoy. Tell us what you'd like to see more of. Share it with your friends if you think they'd enjoy it as well, and only if they think they enjoyed it as well. Don't, like, endlessly refresh the page, because we'll know. I can tell. You may not think that YouTubers know these things. They can tell. But anyway. Yeah, so that's, what was even on that? What were we on? Oh, yeah, we're talking about Let's Plays. Yeah. So the point is that basically after we finish 7 and after I finish Type 0, other than continuing with Kingdom Hearts, again, if it continues to be successful, I am going to leave long-form games alone for a while. At least games that are longer than 20 hours are probably not going to get Let's Plays on here for a while, especially because the viewership on these is limited. It's the case. Again, don't want to sound cynical, but the viewership is limited and it takes a lot of time. Takes less time than, again, I can do 3 weeks worth of this in the time that it takes to do one Final Fantasy 15 analysis video, but still the viewership is limited. So at this point when I'm doing this, Type 0, Final Fantasy 7, juggling all those together, that's too much. That's a bit much. I don't want to cancel any of them because they're all still going strong at the moment. I'm going strong on them, even though the viewership isn't necessarily strong. But we're still doing them, and I'm not just going to drop them because it's like, I don't want to. That's not fair to the people who are watching it. Because I appreciate all of the viewership that I'm getting on all of them. I don't want to sound like I'm whining about, like, you know, lack of views or something. I appreciate every single one of you, the true fans. Buy my t-shirt. Don't have a t-shirt, I'm just kidding. But anyway, you get the point. You know, after I finish with those, I'm probably only going to do two Let's Plays at a time, if that, maybe only one. And I'm going to do shorter games for a while. Again, we'll continue with Kingdom Hearts. After this, we'll probably do either I on my own, or me with Joey, or me with somebody else. We will do shorter games for a while. Like, I'm planning on having a kind of a buffer between Kingdom Hearts and the next Kingdom Hearts game with some other shorter LP. Right. Is the plan. That gives me and Joey time to get ahead on the next one as well. But anyway. What was I saying? Okay, that all came from the Fallout question. Because it's talking about why long-form games like that aren't really good for us right now. Hey, guess what? If this channel winds up being really successful, and, like, Let's Plays are doing well enough that we create an entirely separate channel for Let's Plays or something like that in the future, and, like, you know, they're getting, you know, a couple thousand views a piece, more than that possibly, then hey, maybe Fallout will be viable. As of right now, no, not gonna happen. I apologize. It'd be fun, but it's just not, the time investment is not worth, we gotta recoup costs. Anyway, we're not recouping costs, we're losing, again, not necessarily money, because we're not spending money on this. You know what I mean? I keep running back and forth in circles. I need to stop myself.
You're good, it's
yeah,
okay.
You guys got what I mean.
Question answered.
Yeah, question answered. Question done. Alright, next question. Favorite Final Fantasy game and least favorite? Joey is, even though you haven't, like, played a whole lot of these, just because this is a good lead into this anyway, what game have you been playing recently?
I've been playing Realm Reborn, Final Fantasy Realm Reborn. It's an MMO. It's different. Yeah,
I'm not really an MMO, so I haven't touched it. But tell me a bit about your experience with it so far, just because we haven't talked about it too much. We haven't talked about it much in IRL, so now we'll find out about it here in the video game
As you're fighting Cloud and Leon.
Yeah, this also gives me an excuse to shut up and focus, and you can talk about this for a minute. I'll still be listening, but, like, I can just pay attention to, you know.
Well, for me...
Oh, no!
I haven't really played that many MMOs. Aren't diligently. I've tried a few of them. It's just like it's never been my forte. But my friend's really big into MMOs, and so I've tried to play some of the ones he has. Like RuneScape. I've tried to like it. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
We talked about that on Final Fantasy VII, I believe.
So
what was it? The price? No. Or was that in another? Was it in Final Fantasy VII or something else? I forget
who
which.
Knows?
We in something that we recorded, because there's lots of stuff we recorded that hasn't ever come out, and probably will at some point. But at some point, you guys said something to the effect of, "I would rather play Ride to Hell Retribution than RuneScape."
Yes, it's bad. It's bad, Tom. It's bad, Tom. There's a lot of people that disagree with me, my friend included, because he's been playing it for like 8 years now. But it's anyway, Final Fantasy. I'm playing it on PS4, not computer, because. Oof. If I tried playing it on computer, I'm pretty sure my computer would literally explode. Just literally.
Your computer is just waiting for an excuse.
It's struggling nowadays. Like, it really is. But anyway, it's honestly like, okay, MMOs, you think, the first thing you think of is like, okay, you know, getting max level is going to take you not years. It's going to take you a long time and a lot of diligence, and there's a lot. This game, they generally skip that. It's like, I've been playing it for what, like a little more than a week now? Maybe? Like on and off. And I'm level 44 and max level.
Whew. You got me on the way up. If I had Leaf Bracer, that wouldn't have happened. But I don't have it, so it happened. Alright, continue. Go ahead.
So max level's 50, so I'm 6 away from max, and I have not been playing very much. Like, I've been playing on and off. Like I'll play like a little bit one day and a little bit the next day, maybe. But
actually, yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? I just realized these recordings are all going to get cut weird. We will continue talking about Final Fantasy 15. Let's just call it next time right now, because I don't know where else we're going to be able to get a good like cut. So next time, starting now. Next time, cool.
Yeah, stuff.
And we're back in. All right, Joey was talking about Final Fantasy 14 and his experiences in the online world.
The online world. I mean, there's not too much to talk about. So far, it's been a pretty. I don't want to say standard MMO, because that sounds like I'm think poorly of it. No, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's mostly because normally with MMOs, there's such a big like learning curve for the specific game, because you don't know what does what or whatever. But recently, I got into a guild. what was the name of it?
No, let's not, because people will come and find you.
People will come and find me. Never mind.
It'll get weird. Like, at least one person watching this is like, yes, please tell me your guild and username, Joey.
Yes, that. Okay, never mind. So I joined a guild, and it's like, it's a big guild, but there's not a whole lot of people in it.
Okay.
Like, it's one of the higher up ones. But anyway, everybody there is so nice and helpful. It's like, it's a weird experience.
Good community.
It's been a while since I've played something with a good community. Monster Hunter's got a good community, and I was just baffled that people weren't just screaming at me for being bad the whole time. After coming from
Video games!
League of Legends, everyone. Anyway, though, but no, everybody there is just like super informative and super like happy to help. So they've helped me figure out like a bunch of different things, and typing's a little bit difficult because it's on PlayStation, obviously, and not on computer. That's the one thing that's pretty cool is like you play with the people that are on computer, like it's not dedicated servers to PlayStation. But anyway, me and my friend, we've been playing it. That's not proper English, is it? Whatever. We've been playing.
My friend and I, but it's not. It's okay.
So we've been. He was playing.
Listen. For one grammatical error, I see that and raise you, flubbing 100 lines that are right in front of me. Continue.
I was just saying that he started before I did, but I've caught up in level with him, and so we're leveling at the same time. There's some other people leveling at the same time that he knows that he's kind of good friends with them there. But it's just like it's a good community on there for the most part. Like people, and it may be not. Like, it may just be the guild. It might. I don't know, because I haven't really interacted with people outside the guild except for that one creepy person I told you about earlier, which we will not talk about.
Yeah, you met a creepy person online. It's a funny story, but it's also one you've heard before, you know? Because it's you met a creepy person online.
Yeah, go figure.
You got it. You got the story.
But yeah. I don't know, it's like... Coming from 7, like there's a lot of things I'm like, oh yeah, there's that, but at the same time there's a lot I don't know. Like that game focuses heavily.
To be clear, he's referring to FF7.
FF7.
Just make sure we're clear on that.
There's the big emphasis on that is the primals, you know, like Garuda, Bahamut, all those.
Yeah.
And like the thing that I find the funniest is, and I was asking you about it earlier, is like in 7, it's just people like, you know, oh, you got this rock, oh, I'm gonna summon for this one fight. But in this game, it's just like, okay, we're gonna kill these people and sacrifice their bodies to summon Ifrit.
Yeah.
Oh, go kill Ifrit if you can. So I don't know, it's a weird parallel, but overall, like,
yeah, they're treated very differently between different games.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, like, it's a different, realm, really. Like, it's a different universe, and it's cool to see those things.
In 7, I don't know if there's ever any kind of plot integration with those, with summons, like, you know, saying their nature or where they come from or whatever. I'm pretty sure they're just kind of there.
Right.
8 takes a shot at it when it is revealed later that, like, basically
spoiler.
The summons / GFs are basically a device of plot convenience.
GFs?
They're called they're Guardian Forces.
Girlfriends.
Yeah, that's the joke that Spoonie makes in his Final Fantasy 8 review.
So it's easy
at
to
the very beginning when Quistis shows up and is super hot, and she's like, well, he names Squall Emo Git. Emo Git, did you get your GF, your girlfriend? Nuh-uh, baby, you're my girlfriend. No, in that one, it's like, basically, it's not a spoiler, because it'll mean nothing until you get to that point, and you're like, oh, I see, if you ever play 8, but basically, like, we find out that the GFs cause partial amnesia, and, like, there's, like, sometimes a side effect, and a bunch of the main characters have conveniently forgotten something that
Wait, so are the GFs, like, the summons?
Yeah, they're the summons. They're called Guardian Forces, and they, like, by equipping them, there are side effects, and... It's barely even a plot thing. Honestly, it's just so there can be a reveal later. It's not even a big plot thing where it's like, oh my god, this changes everything. It's like,
well, the thing is, like, this may not have any relevance or whatsoever, but, you know, this game's all focused on the primals, and the thing, like, in this world, it's like 8 years ago something happened and everybody's, like, forgotten, like, a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that might be something to do with it.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure that's the only time that summons had anything to do with memory loss in the franchise, but I could be wrong. They're a really big deal in 10, where basically like the entire story is built around the characters going and getting these things, pretty much. The summons, that is.
Yeah.
That is the plot of 10. Not the initial driving force, the objective of 10 is go and get all these summons. They're a really big deal in that one.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really plot important ones in 9, but for the most part they're not super important. I don't think so. I'm not an expert on 9. I still need to play 9.
Right.
I technically have it, but I have not played it yet, which is unfortunate.
And of course, in A Realm Reborn, there's nothing like, you know, like summoning the primals. Like, you're fighting them, and okay, well, there is one. I'm actually this one class called Summoner, and they can summon like little forms of the Titans.
Yeah.
Oh, like not the Titans. Titan is one of them, but of the ones of the primals.
The various
I
creatures.
think the only ones you can summon like Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda.
There'll probably be more introduced as we go forward.
There might be. I don't know. Like, Garuda you get, like, close to max level, though, so he's the last one.
It seems like the summon's going to be a really big plot thing of Final Fantasy 15. Like, the, have you watched any of Disguise, or not, the demo?
No.
Okay. Well, like, the ending stinger of Disguise, I won't tell you what is in it, for most of it, but you see, like, some very, I guess I would say, I want to call it, I don't know the right period to refer to it, but I guess classical-looking art. It's a very big illustration, kind of religious, you would say. And it depicts, amongst many other things, people we assume to be summons. Number one, Rama shows up in it, and Rama is a summon in the demo that we see very clearly. It's very clearly him. We also see Titan, who we've seen. We also see Leviathan, who we've seen, and then a bunch of other people who people speculate. One of them, I'm pretty sure, is Shiva. One of them is probably Siren. Different ones, and they seem to be very plot-centric.
Right.
And then, as we discussed earlier in 6, the summons or espers are a big deal, to the extent that one of the characters is half summon, half esper. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so Joey's been playing Final Fantasy 14 and 7, and I don't think you've touched another Final Fantasy game other than
No,
those,
and so
have you?
I can't say what's my favorite and least favorite, because those games are nothing alike.
Yeah,
except for Final Fantasy, and there's some similar like creatures and of course the primals.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I hope they do a Rage Remake of 12, because I really like 12. Standing by that, I can never ever pick number one favorite in anything, like no such, I can't pick that in anything, but 12 is high. I really, really like Final Fantasy Tactics A2. I haven't played much of A1, and I haven't played almost any of the original Tactics on PlayStation, which I imagine, in terms of story, I would like better than A2, but in terms of gameplay, in terms of aesthetics, in terms of just general design, A2 is great. I sunk so many hours into that. I was really close to 100%ing it, but there's just like some obnoxious like time-based quests that I just didn't want to waste my time on, because at that point they were well beneath my level. You know, it was just a matter of wasting a ton of time doing them, and 100% completion wasn't something that I felt I needed in that game.
Least favorite then.
Least favorite that I've played. That I haven't played. Probably one of the 13s. Probably 13 or Lightning Returns. Crud, I don't know. Because I haven't played any of those, even though I've watched, like, here's one thing, like, I'm gonna criticize 13 a lot throughout the course of this channel being a thing. You'll hear that a lot. You gotta understand that I gave it its fair shake. Even though I talked earlier about, like, seeing that trailer and, like, suddenly getting this gut feeling that it was bad, when it came out, I immediately went and found an English-speaking fellow, in fact, he was a Brit, I believe, who lived in Japan, who was doing a Let's Play of the game and translating it as he went along. And I stuck with it for a long time. Not a long time in terms of total percentage of the game itself. Like, I got as far as, when they get to Hope's house, essentially, for people who played the game, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Which, in terms of the overall game, isn't that far into it. But that's the problem! It's so long and nothing happens! They walk down a hallway, and then they talk about their focus, and they walk down another hallway and talk about their focus again! I can't do it! And I've given it more of a fair shake since then. Like, I watched all the cutscenes, I've watched significantly more of the gameplay, I've read a lot of reviews, both positive and negative. I'm not a fan. Like, I mean, even assessing what people like about it, I'm like, that's great that you like that. I either disagree with you, or it's just something that I don't like, or you're interpreting it wrong, or, I mean, not to call, like, yeah, your opinion is wrong, that's not, that's not valid, but you know what I mean, it's just like, I have assessed it as thoroughly and fairly as I can possibly do without actually playing it, and honestly, there is nothing about it, like, people might say, you can't fairly judge it until you've played it, maybe I can't, there is nothing about it that is appealing enough to me to make me want to waste 40 hours on it, and money, so, no. 13, low, very low. I like 13-2 better, if only because, like, Sarah and Noel are fun protagonists. like, they're kind of goofy and stupid a lot of time, and the story of 13-2 is convoluted, but it has a pretty decent, relatable villain, and those two main characters are consistent in their characterization. They're not, like, homicidal maniacs like Lightning is. They're fun, and not emo and homicidal maniacs like Lightning is. So yeah, 13-2 is okay in my book. I'm not a huge fan of 10. I really like how it looks. I love the music. A couple of the characters I quite like. I wish that Yuna was the main character and not Titus, because I feel like other than... that's a spoiler.
You might want to put, like, a good old, like, spoiler alert thing.
Nah, I'm not even going to put a spoiler up. If I say other than the end game, I feel like Titus doesn't have a reason for being in that game. Other than to be the character that you inhabit. Which is important come the end game of 10. But, other than that, he's just... I mean, he serves as a fish out of water, because he comes from, like, 1,000 years or whatever in the past, which is the future. Basically, like, he came from 1,000 years in the past, but apocalypse, so he's technically from the future. That type of thing, right?
Cool.
And, you know, in terms of, you know, his technology was way more advanced. You know what I mean? You know the trope. You played Fallout. Yeah. You know the trope. Oh, no, I didn't really need to focus, honestly. But, like, other than being there to say, huh, what's that? And ask questions about the world and be the character who doesn't know these things, he just doesn't have much of a reason for being until, like, other than his relationships, like, he just doesn't have much to do with the plot. That's my point. He has relationships with other characters, and again, once you get to the end game, from an emotional standpoint, he's important, but just from a plot standpoint, he doesn't have much to do anything. I really wish Yuna was the main protagonist. They explored her character arc more, personally. I feel like so much of her character is the fact that she's been isolated and not seen much of the world. I feel like you could have easily played that up a little bit more and made her the fish out of water. Even though she's from that world, she could have easily been the person saying, when someone says Crusaders, asking, huh? Crews of what? Which is something that Titus says in the game.
Great.
Also laughter, but that's beside the point. Ha 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 ha. 8's overrated, but not bad. I disagree with the Spoony one in terms of, like, I guess, honestly, he's stepped back on a lot of what he said about it, where, like, he's like, it's not nearly as bad as I said it was all those years ago, because he now has points of reference of Final Fantasy 13. But, I'm not a huge fan of it. I feel like, the extent that they go to make Squall and his love interest opposites is obnoxious. Because they make her downright childlike.
Oh. In
order to match his broodingness. And it gets obnoxious. Because she's supposed to be the leader of, like, a guerrilla military rebel group, and she says things like meanie, and it's distracting. Also, there's the romance is... I think that, honestly, 8's main thing is, if you can buy the central romance of that game, you'll like it. If you can't, you won't. I think that is ultimately what sells it, because it is so much about their relationship. And there are moments when I buy it, and moments when I don't. Particularly a part where they go to space. I'm not going to say what happens. Let's just say Squall does what should be the definitive, I confess my love, am now putting everything on the line for this person. But then it takes him another 5 hours to realize that he's in love with her.
Oh.
It's obnoxious. That's a good word for Final Fantasy VIII. Occasionally obnoxious. But otherwise harmless. Yeah, there's my assessment of Final Fantasy. Despite the fact that we're playing 7, and I like 7 a lot, it's not one of my favorites. 12 is up there really high. I'll talk more about 12 at length some other day, but I really need to stop talking because I need to focus on this fight because I'm doing terribly right now. Okay, Joey, there's some questions specifically for you. Will you force Jacob to play Bloodborne on his channel? I'm not sure he has a say in that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have a say in that. I can get him to try. I think it would be entertaining. I think it'd be better than, like, the start of Dark Souls 2, because it's a lot more, like, it just starts.
Yeah, Yumi and Easton did a video on Dark Souls a while back, which will come out someday.
Maybe.
The editing and process on that's weird, because, like, basically, if I cut it down to just the funny stuff, I think it's really good. But if I cut it down to just the funny stuff, it's difficult to tell what's going on because we jump locations so much because there's so much not funny stuff between what happens. So it's like I can either make the video longer and less funny to gain context, or I can make it shorter and give less context to make it more funny.
See, the thing is that the game has been out for so long. Like, most people that are watching that video will have at least seen something else, like, Souls related.
That's my thinking. Yeah, I agree. But I'm still kind of on the fence about how I want to handle it.
Right. But
also,
yeah,
I haven't
if I could
edited.
get them, I'd love to.
I haven't touched that video. Like, it's been filmed for a long time. I haven't even gone back to it in a while because I've been so busy with other stuff. What's another question that Joey can answer that I don't have to worry about? Wait, Joey? Did you say you were playing one of the Tales games? I feel like you mentioned that at some point.
Yeah, I haven't finished it.
Which one?
I started Tales of Xillia.
Okay, talk about that, because somebody asked, will you two ever do a blind playthrough together where neither of you know what you're doing? I'd like to recommend the Tales of games, especially Xillia and Xillia 2.
Well, I have, for it being completely blind, that wouldn't be possible, because I have played a few hours of Xillia. Actually, my friend came over and was like, you need to play this game. I was like, why? He's like, I don't know, it's cool though.
I don't know why, so you just need to.
So we started playing it, and it was fun, and it was great. The problem is, he has work, and he hasn't been able to bring it over for a while.
There you go then.
So, we got about, how many hours? 10
I don't know,
hours
man, I wasn't there.
Maybe?
I wasn't there, bro, I don't know.
Hey, 10 hours sounds like a lot, but we just kind of didn't do a lot. Like, ended up running around a bunch in that game. Not saying that that's something that happens, but we were trying to be thorough.
I forgot, I don't think you can summon in the Coliseum.
Can you not?
I don't think so. I think that's one of the rules. I forgot about that. The rules.
The rules.
Oh well, I was gonna use like Genie or like I was gonna use either Mushu or Tinkerbell, and didn't get to do that. Well, sorry. Continue.
I mean, I didn't have much else to say about that.
Yeah. I'm just desperately trying to get you to like find something for you to talk about, so I can win this fight.
Concentrate.
I gotta win this fight.
It's just like Tales of Xillia. I was enjoying the game. See, the thing is about Tales of Xillia, I don't know if you noticed, but it's multiplayer. Like, it's couch co-op multiplayer.
Yeah.
And of course, like, it's still a JRPG. But that aspect of it is fun. We didn't get very far, so I didn't really get introduced into too many characters and too many types. But I mean, you got your standard brawler class. You got your like magic user. I think we met a guy. I think he had a revolver.
Revolver awesome.
Revolver awesome.
This gun is the best gun in the world. No, clap.
And I mean, I'd be down with it. I just don't know if it's something you'd want to do since you don't really know much about the series.
Oh, I know a decent amount about
the
it.
The video is like, the question was not specifically for Tales of Xillia.
Yeah,
he was just saying like.
Well,
so
basically, I think the question was because I'd established a precedent of I do double playthroughs when it's a game that one of us has played before.
Yeah.
And I think they were asking because they want to know if we would ever do one that we've both never played before.
I would be fine with that. But,
I don't know.
I mean, that's up to you.
I don't know because there are enough games that I have played before and that Joey's played before that I want to do on here. And it's difficult enough for us to schedule to do stuff half the time. So I feel like doing one where I could validly do it by myself, but instead belaboring it by having to worry about scheduling stuff is just... This channel's already enough hassle. I don't know.
I mean, we can pick games that aren't, like,
too long. Yeah, we can do short games together that we're both blind on. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Right.
But Tales games, long games, probably not. Probably not a good idea.
At least not now. Like, we're open to the idea of it.
I'm not sure why it's not on here, because I know somebody asked it, but somebody just asked the general question of, like, what are some of your favorite games ever, like, top 5 favorite games. So we said top 5, like, anime, and we talked about predictions for E3, and I don't think we actually talked about just favorite games in general. So, Joey,
man,
please, just
like,
talk about some.
I know, I will, don't worry. I'm just saying, like, I don't have a list of favorite games. If I had to go by Xbox, I probably would say Fallout 3. Like, it's got a lot there for me, and earlier I gushed on Fallout more than I probably should have. But... I mean, like I said, for all of its problems, and there's a lot of problems, Fallout 3, there's just a charm to it that I enjoy. I enjoy the game.
Finally, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoy the gameplay.
Round 2.
I enjoy the theme, or not the theme. I enjoy the aesthetic of the game.
Yeah, the setting, the aesthetic, the theming, perhaps. Not
yes.
the theme, but the theming.
And I think that's one big reason why I like it better than New Vegas, is because New Vegas is set in, of course, like the Mojave Desert and like Vegas, which is not a bad aesthetic at all. I won't say that, but I like the ruined DC like setting more.
Yeah,
personally.
Fair.
I don't know why. It just is. But Fallout 3, favorite like Xbox game. I guess going back, we'd have to go by console. I mean, it's probably no surprise at this point that my favorite GameCube game was Sonic Adventure 2.
Well, that's a Dreamcast game, Joey.
Yeah, no, Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
Fine, yeah,
2
true.
Battle.
You got me. I didn't think you were gonna be able to worm your way out of that one, and you totally
no,
did.
I didn't have a Dreamcast, so I didn't play it on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I know you didn't. I didn't either.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I mentioned I didn't get a console until I was in 3rd grade, so obviously I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going for, like, the older games, I'm not going to say retro, even though I guess now the GameCube is technically considered retro.
Yeah, GameCube is retro.
But at the same time,
I think retro games are just as valid on a favorite games list. Like, I mean, mine would be probably not top, because, again, I never pick, like, top anything, but...
Yeah.
Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, as I said last time, close to the top of the list.
Paper Mario 1000 Year Door is one of my favorite GameCube games, and it's probably the closest thing to a JRPG that I've ever played on my own, and it is a JRPG. It's just not your standard one.
It's just a good one.
Yeah. And I played that when I was little, because, I mean, Paper Mario, yeah, woohoo. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I really did enjoy it. It's just...
you kind of started you found a copy of it again.
Oh, yeah,
recently,
no, I haven't. I have been playing it again, because it's a great game.
It's a phenomenally good game. Just gonna throw that out there. Thanks, Miyamoto, for ruining Sticker Star, by the way.
God. So, there's that. We were talking about Metroid earlier. Metroid Prime, the first one, I got it relatively early to me getting the GameCube, because, I mean, I didn't get the GameCube when it first came out. But it easily became one of my favorite games.
We're bullying him into a corner. I think we got this. Bully him! Bully! Oh no, he got away! Bully him! I don't know!
Like, the thing is, when I first played it, like, I was too afraid to get past the first level, because of little Babby. But, once I got past it, and, like, because the beginning was kind of spooky and kind of scary, but the rest of it, like, I just played hours of that game, and I loved it.
Cool story, bro.
We did it!
Cool story,
bro. Wait, is that the end of it?
No, you just get a reward at each... Boss.
He's dying over here, people. 1 like equals $1.
Not true.
Save this man.
Not true. Don't believe him. It's PewDiePie. My name's PewDiePie. I don't know if he even does that. I don't watch PewDiePie. I imagine he's the type who does that, though.
Yes, he does indeed do that. I don't know if he does nowadays because I haven't watched a video of his in a long time. But hey,
I might as well just die.
Yeah.
So I can get out and
need the
replenish items and all kinds of other useful things. But I also want the experience points. What a dilemma this is.
So what about you? Favorite games? Go.
Okay. Never played Persona 4, but it's number 1. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, before you say anything else, you should probably you've probably explained on the channel before, but you should probably explain that a little bit more, because I know I have more than one person that I've talked to who, like, I mentioned, we were talking about Persona, and I mentioned it was your favorite game, and they asked how much you played it, and I was like, oh, they've never played it before, and they're like, well, how is it his favorite? How can it be his favorite if he's never played it?
Here's the answer. Okay, for years, I'd wound up, like, just kind of stumbling upon it over and over again. I'm leaning way back from the microphone. This is probably a bad idea. Okay, I'm pulling back. Okay, I bet my audio was really messed up there for a little bit. But okay, so first time I probably encountered it was a zero punctuation. Not zero punctuation. Sorry, zero punctuation would not be talking about Persona 4. Extra credits where they did an episode on like sexual diversity in video games. And they talked about like kanji and Naoto and a couple things. And it was interesting enough to me that I decided I'll go look this up. And I tried to watch the beginning of it, and it was slow, admittedly. And also I was like, wasn't like super, this looks interesting. It was just, I'll look at this really fast. So I was like, I'll watch a bit of it. It was like, I think I get the gist of this, and left. I knew it was an RPG and you fought monsters at some point, but it was like, whatever. Came across it again numerous more times. The two best friends did their video of it, which again got me to try and look up a walkthrough, but didn't get too far into it. Right. It was summer before my senior year of high school. This sounds like the beginning of a country song. And I was lonely and depressed, and depressed and lonely, and lonely and depressed. And depressed.
The story of our lives.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I've had issues with that, but I don't know if I've ever been clinically depressed, because I've never been I don't know if like I could have been diagnosed, or if I've been in some bad places before. I'm gonna admit that right now. I'm a nerdy person who makes videos on the internet. I think you know I was in those places. But anyway, I was just in a bad place that summer, especially because I was talking about like I think I was doing. Persona 4 led to a number of revelations, and one that would be, I think, relevant to part of why I was depressed was, among many other things, depressing reading that I was required to do for AP English. Like, reading good books but freaking depressing books. I kind of helped myself out a bit by reading Great Gatsby, which I'd already read like 4 times and love. But I had to read like whatchamacallit, Lord of the Flies, which that book was disappointing. Man, that book. Spoilers for the ending of Lord of the Flies. I'm putting up a spoiler warning right now if you're reading that or don't want to know. There is basically, so that book is about kids who get trapped on an island, right? Yeah. And they all go native and lose their minds and go crazy. And
I got the general synopsis of it.
And they like try to kill each other, basically. Like, it ends with a bunch of them going like super crazy and trying to kill the old leader who isn't crazy, or at least is less crazy. And the whole time I was thinking, okay, so this either ends with A, them getting rescued and going back and being unable to adjust to society, right?
Right.
Or B, it ends with them all, like, dying on the island. Or, like, you know, maybe, like, a couple of them get sane and, like, you know, manage to, like, scrounge together some form of civilization on the island, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Those were what I was thinking. Maybe everybody dies, maybe it just ends on a really, really somber down note of just them being trapped there forever. Maybe they get rescued and go back, right?
Yeah.
That book wants to have its cake and eat it too, so badly. Because it ends with a bunch of main characters dying, the main guy's going, alright, we're killing the main character. And they chase him through the jungle, they set the jungle on fire, super intense chase sequence, it goes on for ages, I'm like, okay, there's only like 2 pages left. Do they all die? What's gonna happen? I flip the page. On literally the last page and a half, a boat shows up and rescues them. So there is no time to do anything other than to have this guy say, why are you all dressed like this and some of you are naked and stuff? Aren't you all proper, you know, British children? And then the kids all, like, start crying. And it's so blunt, it's like he cried for the death of civilization and humanity and decency, or it's number one, it's so incredibly on the nose. It's like, did you just read my book and you didn't understand what I was talking about for the last 200 pages? Let me tell you, which is annoying to me. Additionally, it's just like he manages to have a semi-happy ending, and none of like the consequences or interesting stuff that happy ending brings about. That book
favorite video games, right?
Book pissed me off. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the point is, I was reading that and other books around in the summer for my senior year, depressed, pissed off, a lot of reasons. Finally, for whatever reason, I don't even remember why, I decided, you know, Persona 4 again. I'll try it again this time. I did it that time. I got deep into it. I loved it.
Reached out to the truth of
life's sick in a seas. And God, it was good. And it was also because I could watch Golden that time. I think that was part of it. Maybe like there's more. I don't know why particularly. It was. I think it was also Golden was coming out. I was like, okay, I'll give this another shot since there's a new version. I believe that I'd also at some point, like years ago, Spoony, the guy like did the Final Fantasy VIII review and stuff. He did a brief review of Persona 4, like before he'd even barely into it. He'd only gotten up to the Yukiko dungeon essentially. He was at the Yukiko boss fight. But he basically opened it by talking about Persona 3 and how he burnt out on it and then like watched the ending on YouTube and didn't like it too much. Whatever, and it's irrelevant. But basically he gets into like but Persona 4 though, I'm liking this one way better because these reasons. Spoony is notoriously hates everything. It's a saying, Spoony hates everything.
Yeah.
In his coverage of E3, like, not 2013, but like the year, whenever Atlas announced like Persona Arena and Persona 4 Golden.
Right.
He did coverage of those two. And he talked about Arena and then talked about Golden. And when he was talking about Golden, he said, it doesn't really matter what they do to it because Persona 4 is the best console RPG ever. Yes, I said best, and if you disagree, you can suck it. Oh. And I was like, okay, if he said that, then I need to check this out. And he wasn't wrong. Look, I guess it just, honestly, I think part of the reason why I love it so much is because it came along at a perfectly right time in my life. Not only because you're thinking, oh, it's a feel-good game, and, like, you were depressed. That's part of it. The bigger part of it is the writing lesson that I learned from it. That game can be just as dramatic and introspective and looking into the depths of the human psyche or whatever as something like Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
And it can also have a scene where the boys sign all the girls up for a beauty pageant that they don't agree to sign up for, and then in retaliation, they sign the boys up for a cross-dressing contest. And that can all exist in the same thing! And part of it is because the game is so long that it has so much room to juxtapose these things. Like, it can spend an hour on being, 3 hours on being dark, and then it can slowly lead back into being goofy again,
Yeah.
And it just works, and I could talk, I'm sure I will talk about Persona 4, and if I talk about Persona 4 this entire time, we're gonna lose this fight. Because look at my health, and my items. Look, see? Here are my items. There they are. They're gonna be gone before I get to the next boss, I'm sure. But that's why, I haven't played it because I don't want to play the PS2 version, and I don't own a Vita. As soon as the Vita TV drops in price, like another $10, $20, I'm getting it immediately. Like when GameStop dropped it to $40, like the website, very briefly, I was gonna get it then, but it sold out before I could get it.
Dang.
And if I had, I would have bought it immediately and bought Persona 4 Golden immediately and played it immediately.
Right.
Like, let's be clear right now. I don't care if it was on the week that I was doing college exams, I would have put it in and at least played the first 5 hours. It would have happened. Because I really, really, really want to play that game. But, I have watched, effectively, I didn't watch 2 walkthroughs straight through, but considering just the random parts that I've gone to, the social links that I've watched, as compilation videos, watching full walkthroughs through, watching most of walkthroughs with commentary, I've probably effectively watched, 130% of that game. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And I feel as if I'm well-versed enough in it that I can easily call it one of my favorite games ever. It's entirely possible that it's not going to mean as much to me in 10 years because I'll be more distant from it and it won't have as much emotional impact as it had on me at that time, at that place. The things that it particularly spoke to me in those ways, the things that it taught me about writing and storytelling in general that I really like, the characters that I like Persona 4 is the point. And it was probably because of that time and place that I was in that I really loved it so much, but that remains to be seen.
That's the best way of doing it, though. It's your favorite when you have these kinds of emotional attachments to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was a long spiel on Persona 4, why it's my favorite game even though I haven't played it.
There you go. There you go, folks.
Let's see. And again, I say my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's in my favorites, because there is no favorite. There is things that are in the top 10, and they are not in any particular order. But if I had to put them in any kind of order, the only one that I could resolutely put in any kind of order is to say Persona 3 would be in the top 3. So Persona 4 would be in the top 3, that is.